You good to go?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hello.
Hello.
Travis, do you want to introduce yourself here for a minute?
Hi, my name's Travis. I am 25 and I like weird theater performances and feeling uncomfortable. My feelings about AI are I'm excited and a little cautious, and I trust people smarter than me to make rules about it. I don't know if I have any like end of the world fears about it, but I'm intrigued by any tools that can like subvert the writing process or like add randomness
Totally.
to art.
Definitely, definitely. I feel great about that. I'll start sharing my screen here. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So this is the playground. Um, so you just type whatever here. You can explain how much you want it to spit back at you here. This is tokens. Each token's about 4 English characters. So that's like what it uses to predict what it thinks the next token is.
Mm-hmm.
Temperature closer to 1, it'll be more random. Closer to 0, it'll be more logical. A lot of times when it's closer to 0, it'll just like pull stuff that's already in the text or repeat itself a bunch. And on like 1, it's every like next token generation is like the least probable at that point, so it can really get into some nonsense. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what do you want to feed it?
I can feed at the beginning of a like performance script.
Yeah. Let's see what it does with that.
Um, I can copy and paste this into the Google Doc?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a play um, in English would be called Instant Pleasure.
Nice. You could leave it in a different language if you want to see how that affects the.
Oh, okay. So the English word would be das sofort Vergnügen.
Very fun. Yeah, let's throw this in. Or yeah, no.
Yeah.
So it might not pick up on the bold and size stuff just because it uses bolding for some of its own whatever, but
Mm.
everything else it should take into account.
Cool. Yeah.
Uh, we'll leave it at 64 and 7 just because those are the defaults for now. I'm going to turn this up so it doesn't repeat itself as much. There we go. We speak.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a continuation of like how do I describe this? Of like intentionally nonsensical, overly sincere philosophical poetry,
Yeah.
which is like my favorite kind of dialogue in contemporary performance.
Hell yeah.
When someone like is speaking into a microphone and they're like so intense, and you're just like, yeah, like being sad is the worst pain in the whole world. And in the moment, it like you really feel it. And this dialogue is like that it's adding is it's the heart which speaks when it is us that speaks and not our hearts. The true self is made up entirely of love without a care in the world. Yes, that is so spot on.
Just moving to listen and move forward toward each other. Beautiful.
Together as one big body with many mouths or ears and eyes and hands. But yeah, that's it. That's, that's what I'm going for.
You want to keep it going, see what it does with more of this?
Yeah.
Let's turn it up to like 150, have it go on a little tangent here, maybe.
so much because my heart is infinite. I am the king of infinite space is Chef's kiss. Perfect. Oh, wow. While talking about Gödel's theorem on his podcast. Yep, that's exactly something I would write as dialogue. Yes.
And thinking about how we will never know each other.
Oh, I like you all so much because my heart is big and open to give from. I also love the big thing that I love in performance is non-native English speakers speaking English, and the sort of like funny syntax. Like, I like you all so much because my heart is big and open to give from. Doesn't sound like something that a native English speaker would say. It sounds like something like a German person or like a Dutch person would say. And I guess it's kind of also like what a robot would say. Yeah, this is great.
So yeah, you can edit, you can cut stuff out here. If you want me to save stuff in the Google Doc or copy paste it there for you to edit before I put it back in, just let me know.
Oh yeah, no, stick this all in the Google Doc. This is great. I'm curious what happens from I'm curious to see like how like a play with dialogue and stage directions.
Yeah. Do you want to make up a new one or do you want to copy paste something?
Let's grab something existing, like something, I don't know, like the importance of being earnest, something that's so like.
Yeah. You can take out a snippet of it. You can put it in the beginning of it, whatever.
Yeah. Do you want me to put that? Yeah, let's see. I don't know, will it come up with any like clever?
It'll definitely try to do more Oscar Wilde. I'm curious if it'll pick out actual stuff from the show that you don't put into it.
Oh.
But I think there's a significant chance it comes up with just like new reworded Oscar Wilde, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. Alrighty, so I'm gonna grab. Let me see. I'm just looking at like plain text of this from good old Project Gutenberg. Okay, so this is the end of the second act. We'll just insert a horizontal line. Fantastic. Classic play, stage directions in brackets, character names bolded. I hate it so much.
There's still one muffin left. Interesting.
There's still one muffin left. Is there? Does it break the dramaturgy of the?
No, it looks like they just haven't eaten since.
Takes muffins, offering. Oh, right, and there's still one muffin left. I shall get it. Oh, wait, yeah, it repeats. There's still one muffin left. There's still one muffin left. Yeah, but this bit of "I will never speak to you again. I thought you never spoke to me now." I mean,
And
that
also the
sounds.
Middle Western girl who got her lover into trouble by passing herself off as a boy. And then, but I don't see why the men should be so angry about it. Like that seems weirdly woke for Jack Algernon.
Um, yeah, I mean, I mean, this definitely sounds, it sounds like Oscar Wilde.
Definitely.
It would not seem sensible in them to object to other people having what they themselves prefer. That's it. Jack Rising. Yeah, and using that rising stage direction that's in the bracket, that's like that. I mean, that makes sense to rise and tell someone to leave. That
Yeah.
holds up.
And it
Interesting.
and it like it knows all of like fanfiction.net, all of that. So like basically any way you format a script, it'll pick up on whether it's like asterisks, brackets, all capitals for character names, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is totally exciting because it's like, I love coming up with ideas and then I start them and then I'm like, I don't know what happens next.
Exactly. You can just pull the slot a few times, get a few options.
Yeah, add some randomness to it. Um, yeah. Um, I guess just this is, I guess, kind of different to me from deep fakes,
Mm-hmm.
where like we mostly assume that like pictures are real. We know that they could be like photoshopped, but like,
But I mean, like, say somebody, say Oscar Wilde was alive, and the publishing agency wanted 6 new plays by Oscar Wilde, and like he just signs a thing rather, and like I feel like ghostwriting plays and things like that become all the more possible. Maybe not deep fake, but some sort of level of that, like branding almost.
yeah,
Just because it's so easy to emulate style, and like, do you need uh like the actual person if you have somebody that's going to emulate the style and also like is like 50% the writer or whatever that they are, or able to stay within what studios or whatever want.
yeah. Well, I think, yeah, this does kind of also, this open AI reminds me of ghostwriting because, yeah, I mean, like, not anyone can emulate anyone, but like, there are plenty of talented people who can emulate talented name brands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I guess just like questions of authorship
But
and
also
like
just how
own.
fast you can do like the emulation
Mm,
now, like just in terms of like shitty, like so many like shitty like animation studios pumping out like low budget whatever, like how do we stop that for writing, or I don't, just all up in the air.
I'm not even worried about that because like I watched Basic Instinct last night for the first time. Have you ever seen that film?
I don't think so.
Um,
No. But for hope,
I
it's fun.
I'd never seen it, but like there was dialogue in that film that was bad. where I definitely think a computer would have generated better dialogue than some of the dialogue on that phone.
Well, you could have it do setting. You can like there. It's more than just words. I don't know.
Yeah. So the question I have is like, do you write, let's say, write a novel, you using OpenAI? Like, do the creators of OpenAI, should they be entitled to like
I
part of
think as
that
far as
ownership?
legal stuff, there they've like released whatever on
Mm,
generations.
that's good.
Because I had to look into that for play stuff. I was like,
Yeah. But I'm sure someone will, I don't know, is this totally open source? Like, I'm sure someone will
no, it is still
proprietary.
restricted for now, and you gotta get access by saying you're a developer or whatever. But
Yeah.
I faked my way into that.
Yeah. So questions of like, will someone make this proprietary? So it's like, if you generate, if you write a novel and some of it comes from OpenAI, then OpenAI owns X percentage of that novel.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, questions of like, who made OpenAI? What biases is it perpetuating?
Yep, definitely uh, Elon Musk backed whole dealio. Uh,
Right,
and
right.
I've had some black people like making plays on this, and it's they've had to work extra hard to like sort of get it to do good dialogue or like good scenes that's stray away from stereotypes or are like one guy Willie he was really trying to get it to tap into like Western African like voodoo stuff
Mm,
without like explicitly just having it give him like the descriptions and whatnot, and it was a struggle.
right. Yeah, I mean, a tool like this is only only as good as the people who made it can like understand what they don't know, especially if this is a tool that generates new things. And of course, a question of like what source material was it fed, and then who wrote that source material. I mean, like you mentioned Wikipedia, which like we know Wikipedia is mostly written by like white men.
Well, and also just all these like weird niche communities and stuff that like just peddle in stereotypes as a like whole thing. Like definitely I've gotten some stuff that's 4chan adjacent, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, which uh, I mean, the other thing that makes me like not too worried about this is like this is a very like closed loop. Like you enter in something and then it feeds it back to you. So like if this just started generating mean discriminatory things, and you would just like delete it and be like,
Yeah.
nope.
But also in terms of like disinformation and like quickly generating fake news sites and
Right.
uh yeah. One more thing I was gonna say. Oh, and also like the ability for this sort of like train like large scale AI training.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few weeks ago, they released like a paper, not the tech like this, but a paper on how they were doing text to image generation.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just type in something and it would give you all these different like sort of GPT-3 examples pulled from stuff like Google image captions, whatever. And those were looking really crazy. Uh, and like almost again not quite to the level of like knocking out like illustrators for like mock-up designs and things like that, but like a very streamlined process of something like that, and it's only a matter of time until it's videos, virtual worlds, and you're just like playing with sliders on whatever you want your entertainment to be, I feel like.
Yeah, I saw a video talking about how an AI where you would describe a program and then it would create it. Like you would write, I want a form that has these fields, and then it
Yep.
like creates these forms. And I was like, that's cool, but like I feel like I don't get very doomsday about these kinds of tools
Totally.
because I really just think that each tool is just like the next thing.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I don't think any of that's necessarily a bad thing. I just do think that this is the signal that we're on the path to being able to generate what we want when we want.
Yeah, and nor do I also think that something like this like is going to. I nor think that it's like doomsday, nor that I think it's like, and this is the answer to such and such problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all just continued evolution of people and computers.
Yeah.
But when doomsday thoughts do creep in my brain, I'm like, the government has to just make laws. That's what government is for, is to say like, I think if an article has not been like vetted by like if the New York Times, I've seen them put out articles that are like, this was generated by a computer, it should have to say this is generated. I think when you call like 1-800 numbers and you're speaking to a robot and not a person, it should have to say like, this is an automated system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, away from all conversation, let's make you a play.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to keep this? Do we feel like we understand what it does with Oscar Wilde?
Yes. Yeah, that's exciting to see.
Do we want to keep that though?
No, I think we're good to say goodbye. So we could. What do you want to try next?
What do you want to try next? You're making a play here.
Let's see. Alrighty. So let's say Eric and Charlie. Yeah, I want to find out about this action stuff. So like, Eric and Charlie are constructing a cloud generating machine. And Charlie says, or could you add a line of dialogue for Charlie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't turn it on until I say go. And then Eric, Eric spills a canister of goo.
You want that in parentheses, or how do you want to?
Could you put it in brackets?
Yeah.
And then Charlie says, can you clean that up, please? And Eric says, why don't we take a break? And let's see what happens next.
Yeah. Do you want to mess with temperature or response length at all?
Can we get like one line?
Yeah.
Response, like what's the next line it would come up with? And then
15.
And then something like super logical.
Super logical. Like 0.1.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see if it doesn't just stay to this.
Ooh, conflict.
We're not taking a break. We're not taking a break. Eric, I'm not cleaning that up.
Wow. Conflict. Who'da thunk? Alrighty, I wonder if it would then go into my next, one of my additional biggest pet peeves of contemporary playwriting dialogue, which is back and forth bickering where someone's just like, do this, and they're like, no, please do this. How dare you ask me to do this? I'm so frustrated with it, and then like nothing happened because people are just like then mad at someone's feelings. So I wonder if that's what would happen next.
Yeah, well, let's.
Okay, we're stuck in a loop.
Yeah, so we want to turn temperature up a little bit, see if it raises the stakes. Where we want it set
at. Can we go like 3/4 of the way there, like 7?
7 is what it technically has as the default.
Okay.
Do you want to do like 8 or 8.5?
8.5.
Or 0.85?
0.85.
Do you want to go from we're not, the second we're not, or do you want to go just from?
Yeah, can you delete that part?
Yeah.
2 choices here. Okay, keep going. Were you in the group? I can call your. Come on. Alrighty. Let's have Charlie call, or Charlie calls Eric's mom.
Yeah.
Charlie calls Eric's mom. And then let's say Eric's mom climbs from a ladder above them.
Climbs down or just climbs?
Or climbs down from a ladder above them.
See what it does with that.
Let's give Eric's mom a line of dialogue. And she'll say, clean that up, please. Why don't we take a break? Hey, you two, we've got a problem.
See where it goes?
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Give it a little bit more.
So call me back when you get a chance. This film was shot. Alrighty, so that was a little bit too random.
You want to try again on the same temperature?
Yeah, can we try again, but lower the temperature?
Yeah. 0.7. Sure.
It's another canister of goo. Okay, that's funny. That's comedy. Where to go next?
And you don't have to be married to this prompt if you don't want, or if you get do whatever you want at all times.
Well, I guess this is the end of the scene. Let's say. Have you done scene changes?
Yeah, lights up and stuff like that on a new, like, you want to give me a scene change, it'll say what it thinks follows.
Oh God. Alrighty, so end of scene. Let's go to scene 2. The National Weather Service.
National Weather Service.
Headquarters.
HQ.
HQ. Cindy stands at a microphone underneath a spotlight, dripping in goo.
Yeah.
And she'll say, here's where I draw the line. And a towel is thrown in her head from somewhere. And an alarm blares. And three cows behind her dance dance in a like Martha Graham routine.
See where it goes?
Yeah.
100, see if it wants to go off a little bit here.
Oh my God, brilliant. End of scene.
You want to give it more after that, or beautiful?
That's beautiful. It knew exactly what I wanted. I love goo, diapers, Martha Graham.
Excellent. Do we want another scene?
Yeah, let's go to scene 3. Let's see. Six children in front of some monkey bars. And one child says, "It's snowing, it's snowing." And another child says, "I've never seen snow." Another child says, "Snow comes from pulverated dinosaurs." And then a teacher says from a megaphone. Yeah, from a megaphone. Or can you say holding a megaphone?
Yes.
Children, it's time for lunch. Please put on your lunch boots.
Love that. See where it goes?
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Temperature still at 0.7?
Yeah, let's keep it there.
Snow comes from pulverated dinosaurs.
My mom says snow's. Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's pump up the randomness.
Yeah. Do you want to delete this one?
Yeah.
Cool. Point from 0.7 to.
Can we go to 9?
Yeah.
C4. Okay. So wearing only a diaper. Okay, throws himself and lays red eagle on it. So I'm going camping next week. One of my tent mates is this girl I've had a crush on for years. If we could pull it off, the scene ends there with no dialogue from Charlie Booker. Okay, random. So like what's not happening is like the inciting incident.
Yeah. Do you want to feed it an inciting incident? I suppose there's the gooey mess.
The gooey mess. Yeah.
But it doesn't go back to it, or it hasn't gone back to it for sure.
Yeah. So this is the big question in the back of my mind is like, what does this need to, or is it fully capable of replicating or like generating a full story that follows like an Aristotelian familiar structure? Maybe we just didn't give it the right prompts, but like, could the AI?
It's a little bad at remembering plot points. It likes to just like stay like within recent stuff for the most part, especially once you get into like big, long, whatever. But you can do some like prompting, like some sort of like manipulation, like up at the top. You could be like, this is the following is a play that follows all of the Aristotelian like conventions. It has a very clear like beginning, middle, end.
Oh, really?
And even like you could go in and be like, scene 2, National Weather Service HQ, everything's on fire in this part of whatever, this is what's going to happen, or something like that. And it will help. It's not necessarily a perfect thing, but you can kind of mold it in those sort of ways.
Yeah. So at least what I've seen so far is like, it'll continue things. It'll like egg you along a little bit. It'll like bounce ideas off of, but it doesn't quite seem like you still have like a human needs to give it the structure, the like bones.
Definitely. And I think to a degree, somebody that was familiar with coding and whatnot could get a pretty decent script for something like a completed, I haven't looked at pseudo rights necessarily in detail, but I'm sure they've worked around some of the little details like that. This is just very much the raw, what they give you for access.
Yeah. And I wonder, I mean, I've seen tweets that were like, I fed an AI. I wonder if that's what it actually is, or if
people. I feel like a lot of those are BS, jokes. And people are, yeah.
But like, I've recently watched Curb Your Enthusiasm for the first time.
My girlfriend did all of it at the beginning of pandemic.
Yeah. Did you watch any episodes with her? Like those are like so structured.
It's like comedy of manners to the highest degree.
Yeah. Like thing happens, surprise happens, act happens, everything all comes together, and the thing at the beginning like collides with the thing at the end, and it's just like, I think I had seen it before, like in a TV writing class, and the professor was like, look at how this collides with this. It is so structured, and like, this is where you should be starting to write. And I was just like, I wonder if an AI could assist with that, or maybe if you were just writing an outline.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you wrote an outline of like scene one, this plot point, could it fill the details? Or what happens if you...
Yeah, if you want to type some stuff out and try it, go for it.
Let me see if I have like an outline.
I'll save your Charlie Goo scene here.
Oh yeah. Man with diaper though, the fact that it would say that is like such a is so good. like I wonder, like I'm bad at plots and like story and what happens next. And so I wonder if it could fill in that gap of like...
Yeah, if you start writing out an outline, it'll probably finish it in a way that it thinks it should.
Yeah. So let's see. I have a whole folder of like half-finished ideas.
Yeah.
That I just called detritus. So I wonder... should be somewhere in my... should have this outline somewhere.
Yeah, no worries. I think it's very interesting when people pull their own work and stuff. And just like personal stuff in general. Like I had somebody do like run their artist statement through it a few times the other day, or like have it, because there's a preset that has it translate to like language appropriate for a second grader, or like something a second grader could understand.
Let's...
And you want to play with that?
Well, here's let me first see if I could find this outline for a spec script for an episode of Broad City that I wrote in this writing for TV class. So
yeah.
Sophomore year. Broad City. Okay, here it is. Oh boy, this is I really did write this in 2016.
Yeah, you know.
I would not write this again.
I completely understand.
Okay, so sorry. Actually, no, I don't want to use this because this is a little too messy.
Yeah.
See. Let me, Alrighty, so here's what I consider to be like As you see on my website, like the satirical, semi-satirical, very intentional way I describe my artistic aesthetic of DOS.
Yeah.
So here's the DOS manifesto.
Hell yeah.
Which I wrote and I actually go back to.
Very cool.
I'm working and I feel lost. So what's it going to say? And I feel like this is going to be so, I'm going to feel so insecure.
Well, no, I think it's so interesting when people put in like their own writing or whatever, because it's like it's like seeing their own ideas and whatnot, like emulated by this like collective internet voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really interesting seeing like what communities that it like taps into, like what kind of like internet speak it like focuses on.
Who will be the participants? How do they fit into the composition conceptual framework? Are you going to stage things, create situations that require participation? For those kinds of viewers. Is it a performance piece or video where people can watch passively from their screen and then comment on YouTube later? Don't make pieces for those kinds of viewers. That's a gem. The rest of it is a little bit too caught up on,
The
like you said, like
thing.
Continuing.
Yeah.
It's not.
Here, we can run it again and see if it gets stuck on that still.
Yeah. Like what happens if you put the cursor on a line break or like 2 lines below it?
Yeah. It thinks we're over. Just put like A.
Okay.
See if where it goes with that.
A is for Angela, who was the reason I moved to New York. B.
Interesting that it went into that.
Oh, it's going into B is for, because it makes all English languages.
The like ABCs of DOS.
Wow, I love that.
You want to keep it going?
Yeah, can we keep going? Will
Absolutely.
it go through the whole? Not one of them will say why. C is for clowning.
See how far it goes? I'll turn this up to like 500, see if it just...
Oh my God. Being on stage is like being in front of any other group of people. The job is not to let them see you sweat, even if the whole room can hear you. D. D is for... Holy moly.
I think I gave it too much freedom to run wild.
Oh, remember, follow your bliss and settle down first. Oh, and it... This leads me back to C, though. Yeah, I'm loving this because it, like, I love nonsense.
Yeah. It's very good at nonsense.
It's good at, yeah. And I feel like if you want, you know, I feel like this is a really good replacement for those, you know, those like jars with popsicle sticks in them.
Totally.
You like pull out or those like boxes of cards that you see in stores, and it's like story ideas.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is a much better version of that.
Totally.
I've done, you know, like exquisite corpse things.
What's that?
Exquisite corpse things where you like write a line of dialogue and then someone else writes something. I mean, this is very much like that, but this I also feel like is much, much more fun.
And it's so fast.
And it's fast. Alrighty, I have this might be helpful for I'm writing like a wrap up of some shows I saw last fall,
Right
like
on.
outdoor shows I saw, and I feel like this would make fun of me a little bit and help me recognize, because the way it sort of repeats things in very verbose ways.
Yeah, the like rephrasing of your own writing is like very like vulnerable almost, because like you know that it's like putting you into all these different boxes
Yeah, and it
and
kind of
also trying
makes,
to emulate you.
yeah, and it kind of allows it, I feel like it's distinguishing like what actually means something and what is just like what is
Words.
verbose.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Ooh, like, do you want to try throwing this into the 4 second graders thing and see what it does?
yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah.
save your ABCs of.
Oh, please, yes.
And then. Oh no.
Or did I do something wrong?
Let me see if I get out of that. No, I just gotta copy and paste the DOS thing again.
But before we do that, I want to do one more thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is just like a list of like what I call like the DOS tendencies and DOS artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see what it does with this like list.
Absolutely. This list?
Yeah, put it all in.
This one. Interesting. I thought for sure it would just start giving us words, but it went for a little artist description here.
Mm-hmm.
Play shows in the bathrooms at CBGBs. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
The people speak.
Is that? I feel like that's just.
I'm wondering where it went from slime to goo to that though.
Yeah, it's weird that it would reference. It's weird that it would reference the Pacifica radio network because I know what that is. And I worked on a show in high school that was syndicated on the Pacifica radio network.
Very weird. There people and like I don't know, people are finding weird little stuff like that, even though it's not necessarily.
There we go. Mismatched clothing, cameras, grinding on people, sliding on the floor, rubber gloves. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Here we go. Rope pieces. Yes, 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 yes. Disability related equipment. Ugh. Yep. Unfortunately, yes. That's a gross part of DOS. Unusual hair color and style. Accents. Specific props. A prop that can be used interchangeably as musical.
Shaking baby bottles is one of their examples of that.
Alrighty, this I'm really into.
Yeah, just have it keep going.
Please.
Oh.
Theatrical makeup, video production, use of strobes. How did it know?
You told it.
The use of fog machines. Strobes and fog machines are two of my favorite things.
Hell yeah.
And suits, unfortunately, yes. Oh, wow.
More?
Yes. Hmm.
A
Alrighty.
full band, yeah.
A full band, yes, very DOS. But I think this is as far as it's gonna go.
All right, what else can we give you here so that you eventually end up with some sort of show?
Um, to end up with a show.
I mean, you can technically use whatever you want to use from this process, but
Alrighty. Here is some notes. From an idea I've now sort of abandoned, which was doing a scaled down version of Einstein on the beach.
okay.
But I've now learned that that's sort of old hat in the music world. But in the theater world, we're still kind of obsessed with it, even though it's sort of old.
Oh, yeah.
But like this is like I was doing a really specific like notation.
Yeah, I think it'll for sure pick up on that. Is there a fan on the stage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, way to just skip a whole section.
The dance does go on for a while.
Let's see if we can get it to like describe. Can we delete this last sentence?
Yeah.
3 and see if we can get it to like describe the dance. So like, what's the dance? So like 4 people wiggle their elbows. And wiggle their elbows and bend up and down. 2 people point their fingers and spin around. And let's turn the temperature way up and see what it comes up with for this weird choreography.
Point like 9 or 9.5?
Let's just do 9.
Let's do 9. 4 people.
The carpenter has been building the whole time. The crowd is still roping around Einstein finally forwards, leaving in a huff for about 3 seconds.
You want to try that again? See if it gets us to do the dance?
Can we? I mean, I like this. The dancers leave. Can we put it somewhere? Can we put it before?
Yes. You mean like before the 4 people wiggle?
Yeah. And I guess let's just change this from can you change from the dancers leave to the paper airplanes leave?
Been building a whole time. See what it does with that. Do we want the 4?
Yeah, let's keep that.
Cool. Try again.
Yeah. Perfect. Fix this. The crowd finally leaves. Interesting. Yeah, there we go. The crowd romps around, but then they leave. Okay, so it gave us something.
Gave us an ending.
Yeah. Can we see where it goes next?
Yeah.
Oh, the dreidel song.
New sequence started.
2 bars of clapping. There's another person changing clothes in between dances. This is great.
More?
Yeah. Einstein's left. Another professor's here. You're my darling.
It's a little nonsensical there at the end, but
yeah. Yeah, so what I would I've had this idea for a long time, and every time I pick it up, I put it back down. But I've always wanted to do a sexy contemporary adaptation of Rumpelstiltskin.
Hell yeah.
Because I think it's a fairy tale that hasn't yet had a sexy reinterpretation.
Yeah, definitely.
Nor do I think it really should have one, but I want to do it for that reason.
A lot of like ugly cartoony things like that, but definitely not, especially theatrically, I feel like.
Yeah.
How do we want to set that up? / do we want to keep this Einstein?
Yeah, let's, no, we can get rid of it. I'm trying to think where I had the draft of that.
Oh, good. I'm going to run to the bathroom while you're looking for that real quick.
Oh, great idea. Just trying to format this a little bit better. And I have these embedded images that I should get rid of. But I mean, whatever, let's just see what happens.
Yeah. I'm curious if it generates more of those image links, if they'll be real or not.
Oh my God, that'd be so weird. This was me trying to write a script that would actually be worth going to a reading for.
Right on. In what sense?
I get so bored at readings for plays.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of refuse to, I mean, I don't have to refuse to go to them anymore, but I started to refuse to go to them because I couldn't stand being at readings and it'd be like, we are performance artists and you are making the most boring hour and a half of my entire life. And I say this with like so much respect to everyone who makes them. And I know it's more complex than that.
But also, if you don't have to be there, you don't want to be.
I don't want to, and I'm just like, how do all these talented people get in a room and are like, we're going to make something that an audience is going to come into and it's going to be so dull. And I'm like, how dare you? And I'm like, alrighty, I want to write something that makes fun of all of that and shows how interesting it could be for a group of people to be sitting around a room reading something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this was my attempt to do that by making a sexy version of Rumpelstiltskin.
The daughter appears. She's blonde. 0.7 to start?
Yeah. For or two scenes. That's not a, wait, is that a Giphy link that I included above?
It might be.
I'll recognize it if it is, or get rid of the
something went wrong. Or yep.
Parentheses at the end of the URL.
Yeah.
No. Oh wait, scroll down or scroll up a little bit. Scroll down. Okay, no. Yeah, I'm sure it's randomly generated.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it would be helpful to input a like basic plot.
Potentially. Again, it's kind of like you're like playing with numbers on what it's going to pull from this big generation that you're giving it for the next. But I don't think it would hurt. I feel like it would probably increase your chances of getting a Rumpelstiltskin thing if you wrote out the base Rumpelstiltskin myth, I suppose.
I have a basic plot synopsis.
Fantastic.
Ready to go.
Okay. Back from She's Blonde.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a second here.
I don't know.
So I feel like it's tapping into your stylizing a little bit more than the plot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that does kind of send it in interesting directions, but not necessarily where you're trying to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna reformat what I put in here.
Mm-hmm. Better?
Yeah.
Do we want to start on scene 2 and get
Yeah.
dialogue for that?
Yeah.
And then we can save scene 3 for when we get to scene 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, totally new character, a jester. I love it. The jester says,
Very interesting. I think I took like sexy Rumpelstiltskin for like weightlifty area. Oh, well, I didn't even see that part. You want to try again?
I mean, I kind of like this.
See where it goes?
Yeah, let's keep going. Painted differently. Okay, this is fun. Okay, great. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
You want to just keep rolling with it?
Yeah. So when you were writing, with your piece, did you just start with one seed and then just like keep going?
So my piece, it's sort of like a love and information-y sort of thing. I like set up a scene at the beginning and I used a bunch of different generations of the same thing because it kept going in such weird different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of like kept a collection of ones that I liked. And I was like, this is kind of how it feels like to be online when you're in 2019. Sort of like I don't know. And then I kept doing the like love and information thing for like, well, this is how we're going to explain it. It's just a bunch of different vignettes but it's like very lowbrow because it's not Carol Churchill. It's SpongeBob and Patrick smoking weed like 19 different ways. But I've had folks that'll like go like this on just one prompt and like edit stuff and like have it go as they go. I've had folks just like generate a bunch of generations and then figure they'll turn it into something. Uh, but if you want to like edit this as we go and get through like a script, or just let it ride on this and whatever, people will see what you use the AI for. So you don't have to like,
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely interested in just like going back and yeah, going, I don't know, just getting different generations for like, how does this scene work?
yeah.
Like, because I have this, maybe what might be interesting is putting the plot synopsis, like breaking that into scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So like taking the plot synopsis, breaking it into what happens in each scene, setting up each scene, generating the scene. Like, do you know what I mean? Like cumulatively generating it. So like plot synopsis, this is how it starts, this is how it starts, this person says this, generate the scene. Scene 2, paste in the synopsis, see where it goes. So then it like builds out.
Yeah, so I feel like we could do something like apology as introduction. Um, so we can keep this in here as sort of a thing, and then like plot synopsis, scene 1, this happened. Well, I guess, yeah. Do you want to like type out the first scene or the first like curated generation? Just like an idea of what you're.
Can I actually show you something?
Yeah.
So the if you stop sharing your screen and allow me to share my screen, I'll show you an idea. So I believe you just need to enable screen sharing for moi.
Will allow to record let you screen share? Or is there?
I think you need to hit the shield that says like safety and then click allow.
Got you. Yep.
There we go. Okay. So the manifestation of my like general ideas about script writing and ideas about authorship and dramaturgy have led me to create a like wiki that I installed on my website.
Very fun.
Where you, I think my ultimate vision would be to customize the formatting options here to be, so instead of saying like heading, or it would still say heading, but instead of like subheading, it would be like character, or like assigning a performer, like character, and then like dialogue would be specific formatting, or like a stage direction. I think is what I want to customize this to be, so that, you know, like while you're writing, you would, it would be control. You would have really easy ways of formatting what you're writing.
Yeah.
That's the vision. And then because it's a wiki, you save your changes, you say, like, it allows you to iterate what the script is, a little bit less simultaneous than like a Google Doc, where you can like see where your cursors are.
Yeah.
But this would also allow you to view the history and changes between what happens. So, which is, compare selected revisions. So like And I mean, I'm sure it's possible to then integrate OpenAI into this wiki.
Probably.
Probably. So anyway, what would be fun would be to put in, like, this is where I am now like writing my scripts. So if I'm like sexy Rumpelstiltskin, make sure I spell Rumpelstiltskin right. Sexy Rumpelstiltskin. Create a new page. I would go to so like subheading 1, so I'll be like scene 1. King or Miller presents his King. King. Anyway, so then my vision is starting off with this like summary at the top, stage directions, dialogue, generate that, like put this into the system, get the rest of the scene, and then scene 2 summary.
Yeah. I think you were probably gonna have to do that formatting, but I should be able to copy and paste all that and through AI. Yeah. And I can't access this like directly like Google Doc, right? So you
You
copy
can.
paste from
This
there.
is just my website.
Very cool.
So yeah, I can put this into the Zoom chat and you can see it.
Nice. Very cool. Yes, I am. And one second.